Hello, beautiful world. My name is Kala, and I am going to do this astrological report for May 18th, this Saturday. I'm full moon here. I'm doing it on the actual full moon. I wasn't sure if I was gonna make it this time, but I was like, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna do it before or after my meditations because that's the first thing I do in the morning. Yeah, I'm just really happy that I'm actually doing a report on the day because I'm kind of like have like already felt into the energy for the day. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, just hit the subscribe button and the little bell will let you notify if you hit that too when I post new stuff. And just want to say happy birthday to my main man, Steven. And we're going to have a great day with that. Going to go teach a Kundalini class. We've got Scarlett here. All are present. So, what's going on today? I was looking at the chart and just made a few notes here. So, Scorpio is all about transformation. And, where are my notes over here? It's the way that I've been really receiving this is like turning lower vibrational energy into higher vibrational energy. I had a really great example in the 3D world about a week ago. I got my MMR shot for the measles, mumps, rubella because I wasn't sure if I had a booster when I was in high school, and there's measles coming into Tennessee, but I got it and I like really kind of felt like, you're injecting yourself with the disease so that you build immunity. And this is an ancient Indian, like Ayurvedic kind of thing. There's definitely more scientific aspect to it, but like this was something that was done way back in ancient times too, exposing your immunity to the disease so that you can kind of like fight it, and then you build those antibodies, and and I don't want to get super controversial either because I know that there are people that want to build their own immune systems naturally, and my cousin's like that, and I totally respect whichever way you want to do it. But I was meditating the next day and I was like sweating. I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm actually having like a physical, like I kind of feel sick. And I guess that's what happens. You kind of like make yourself a little bit sick before, just so that you can build those antibodies. But it was very uncomfortable, and it was very, and I was in meditation. I was thinking, I don't know if I would do this again, like, and that made me question like whether I would do it like, for my children, and if I have them and or when I have them. And I was thinking about being a little kid and like experiencing being sick and like lower vibrational stuff, and like not really knowing why you're feeling like that, and then starting to associate things with different ways of neural pathways and the ways of thinking, and those are like when things are programmed, right? And so I was in meditation and I was thinking about like how my troops were being sent out, and like this is a good thing, like I have to go through this transformation process. Like it's not the most comfortable thing. Growth is not the most comfortable thing. Kind of even like defending yourself internally, and this kingdom that you rule, it's not always comfortable, but it's necessary for evolving, for moving into the future. So unless you want to be, and that's a totally other option too, where you can just totally be in your own little cycle, and people are, but then inevitably you have to deal with something that's challenging to you, no matter what level of consciousness you're at. And so we're turning low into high vibrational energy. And there's an alchemy in that, and that's like yoga, Kundalini, doing martial arts. We have Mars that has gone into Cancer, and that's going to be more of a defending kind of action as opposed to a, outwardly. I was saying this on my Instagram at Yogi Berry, that if you were to think of a big bodybuilder, like The Rock or something, or like the Hulk or whatever, and they were to sit down with their little adorable girls that want to dress them up in feather boas and put fake earrings on them and, like, play tea, that would be kind of like the Mars and Cancer. It doesn't really, that's not really its thing, but it has a soft spot, and when it realizes that weak spot, that soft spot, it's going to want to defend the castle because it has something to lose. So, we might feel a little bit like we want to defend the castle, and it's almost like we're doing it too much, and we might be projecting outwardly people's negative intentions, but it might just be our own insecurities that we're afraid we're going to lose something. So then we put that out there and we project that out there, and we just don't want to become paranoid. So we just want to be working that out with some martial arts, with some yoga, with some like mindful exercise. We also have Venus conjunct Uranus during this full moon today, and this is just, it's so easier said than done to be authentic. It's like, be unique, be yourself, be authentic. But then we like face our own self-judgment and self-criticism about what others are going to think of us and stuff like that. So it's really important to kind of like, if you come across something that or if you find yourself just being a totally different way, allow that. Just kind of like try something new, and I don't know, just try something different. You might like it today. And that's kind of be setting the tone for the next couple weeks until we have the new moon in Gemini. But another thing I was thinking that I wanted to kind of discuss with you guys is just that, this Scorpio full moon, if you think of it, I mean, we can go back a couple weeks to intentions that we planted, but for longer term intentions, it's like for goals that you have in life, you might want to look back to the first week in November of 2018, because that was the new moon in Scorpio. And that's when like we planted, I know I did a really powerful ritual for Samhain. And, this is kind of that harvest time for any intentions that you planted there. So that's kind of the longer term thing, like the things you plant during a new moon. So you could think about in a couple weeks, and I'll remind you to plant seeds for Gemini in the Gemini full moon or new moon, and then when it's the Gemini full moon in Sagittarius, then you'll see some where you want to be, and you can reassess those goals and see if anything has manifested. And finally, we have Mercury trine Pluto. It's not really finally, there's tons of stuff, but we could be here for an hour. And until we all have time, and see, that's why I need more subscribers, because if you guys like this, then I'll spend a longer period of time doing it. So you guys are going to be the dictators of that. And you can always comment below and, remark on anything that you want me to clarify or anything like that. So just do that there. And Mercury trine Pluto is the changing the way we communicate. So I have like my Chiron in Gemini, and I conjunct my North Node in the 11th house, which is wonderful. I mean, there's no bad aspects. I think everything's wonderful and it's a challenge, and but I've always kind of just not thought of myself as a great communicator. And I think really big, I have a lot of Sagittarius stuff, but like kind of bringing that down and learning how to be secure with it, and even I can't even think of the word right now, so that's a perfect example, right? So just finding that like Chiron is where you have to work more in your chart, and so becoming a yoga instructor was like kind of just along that pathway of healing that. And with the Chiron in the 11th house with group, with in Gemini, that's like not being able exactly to get your point across the way that you want to. So this is another training ground for that, and to kind of let that go. But I always like said to myself, well, I have that, but I've never really been that great a communicator. in eloquence and in the way that you can like I can take on big concepts and I don't know exactly how to funnel them down and get them to their roots and be succinct about it. So I'm working on that, and it's just basically this really big time of being able to change the way you communicate and allow yourself to say like, hey, I am a good communicator. I've told myself I'm a bad communicator, so I'm going to be a bad communicator. So like in meditation, just kind of notice what you're saying to yourself and how you're saying that. And there is a phase right now that we're undergoing where, because astrology is cycles basically, and we're just undergoing how we communicate and exactly what we're communicating, how our soul is communicating. So let's see if we can get, oh, we got a card, got 3. So we've got a lot of choices at the moment in the 7 of Cups. That's very Gemini. We're going to Gemini on Monday, so lots of choices. And then this is the 8 of Pentacles. Let's see if we can kind of see that. And that is working on something, working very hard on something. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles. And she knows how to rule her pentacles. So I really like this. And then we have the 7 of Pentacles at the bottom. So this just tells me that we're all working on stuff, like there's seeds being planted. There's a lot of options at the moment. And we're working really hard to grow and kind of become, we're like masons, but we're the apprentice of the masons, so to speak, at the moment. And then the Queen of Pentacles is just like manifesting with the ability to nurture. We have that Mars in Cancer, doesn't really like being there, but it is a nurturing sign. So being able to do that. And then we have feel your oneness with the Art of Kundalini cards. And I just love that card. That is, once you feel one with the universe, once you feel like you are not separate from it, you are going to feel much more abundant, which is what these cards are telling me too. Like so abundant that you're not even going to know. That one wants to come out. Oh, that's interesting. So this one's protecting treasure. So this is that Mars in Cancer, the protection, like the I don't want to really go too far out. What number is that? 39. So you are always protected and divinely directed. Okay. So this, it reminded me of the Mars in Cancer because it's like that protection quality. Although this is a time of great risk, know that at the fundamental level, you are able to move forward safely and securely. The proverbial nest egg is safe and sound no matter the fluctuations in the world. Guardian angels and other guides are whispering to you, making you aware of their protective presence. Your loyalty is an important theme now. Nurture that which you hold dear. This is a good time to strengthen bonds of friendship and ensure their integrity. If you feel tested right now, know that a true and loyal heart always achieves its aim. Take refuge under an angel's wing. You are not alone and have no need to fear. Embrace your courage. So once you feel that oneness with the universe and there's no separateness, then you feel this abundance because everything you could ever want or have, you already are, and or anything you could ever want to be or have, you already have and are. That's the, I love I Heart Huckabees. I always say to watch that movie. So yeah, just be kind to yourself, allow the transformation to occur, and have a wonderful week. Oh yes, we need a Kriya. Oh yes. So we're gonna take our arms to the rib cage, and we're gonna inhale. Right arm comes up. Exhale, we tap into the rib cage. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, we tap into the rib cage, and just going back and forth like this. So we're shaking anything loose in the chest area, any issues of judgment that we have that maybe got projected outwardly. So that is your career for the week, and I will see you next time at the Gemini New Moon. Later, world.